Which comes first, the chicken or the egg? No, wait. That's not what we're talking about today. Which is more important, the customer or the team? I was recently at an event, and during our problem solving session, this question got brought up because sales wants us to prioritize the customer. However, managers want to prioritize the energy and the efficiency of the team. And so in this episode, we are going to dive into which one should take the priority. And I think my answer might shock some of you. So let's get into it. Welcome to episode 36 of the What If It Works podcast. And today we're answering the age-old question, the chicken or the egg? No, wait. We're answering the age-old business question, the customer or the team. And so I want to set you up with what happened a few weeks ago at one of my impact presentations. Now, while I am presenting, there is a module that I cover all on problem solving. And so while we were in this problem solving module, I got an incredible question. This question came from the shipping manager, and he shared with me that he loves how efficient his team is. Before they close up shop for the night, they already organize the trucks for the next day. And so they are loading the trucks, lining them up, prepping them full of product for a 6 a.m. takeoff. Now, at the same time, over in the sales department, they are answering calls from customers who want product right away the next morning. And so sales is quickly passing that information on to the shipping department. However, the shipping department takes off around 4 or 5 p.m. and sales continues to get calls until 6 p.m. That's their normal closing time. So in this window from when shipping is done and those trucks are loaded, more orders come in. Now, some of you right now might be listening to this and you're like, listen, those trucks are already ready to go. That department is efficient and got their stuff ready, and it's going to be on its way at 6 a.m. The customer needs to wait. Now, listen to this. This company ships to up to 3 hours away. So those of you local to Minnesota know we travel in hours. Those of you outside Minnesota might be like, Ann, why did you just say it that way? So they are within a 200-mile radius that they're shipping to. So if there is an order coming in from somebody 90 miles away and it's on the way to where that truck was already headed, it makes sense to add the product to the truck. But let's look and weigh some of the pros and cons. When that customer places a call and asks for product to be delivered right away the next morning, that salesperson wants to give them the best customer service. Why? Because when we have great customer service, customers are more willing to refer us. They are more willing to talk positively about your company. And that is exactly what you want. We know that word of mouth sells better than any advertisement. And so sales wants to make sure that product is loaded on that truck so that they can receive it right away the next morning. Now, transfer over to the shipping department. The shipping department is working hard to be efficient so that when those drivers arrive at 6 a.m. and are ready to just walk in, grab their orders, and hit the road, they want them to be able to do that. Now, let's play this out. It is 6 a.m. You are a driver. You get to work. You come in just ready for the day. You grab your orders and all of a sudden somebody stops you and says, wait. Before you leave with that first shipment, I need to put more product on the truck. And now here are your new orders. And here is your new location, what you need to drop off where, and they get it loaded on the truck for you. And now you're on your way 2 hours away, but at an hour and a half, you make a stop to drop off some product to one customer on your way to another customer, right? Now, Some of us listening are thinking to ourselves, that sounds great. It's a win-win for both because the customer gets their product right away and the driver doesn't have to drive to one location, come back, pick up another order, and drive another hour and a half in that same exact direction. But let's take a look at what is happening here. Number one, that driver was prepped and ready to go. And now they are halted. An object in motion stays in motion, right? And so if they were up and ready and now all of a sudden there's a pause, there is downtime, they're waiting for product to get loaded on their vehicle, there is a tendency to be frustrated and or stressed because you are used to getting in, grabbing your order and going. Now, what else is happening? A customer that placed an order at 5:30 the night before is going to get its product first on the way to your other customer who maybe ordered a week ago or maybe ordered a few days ago, and they were prepared. They placed their order in time so that they could be that first shipment that morning. And now their order isn't arriving when they were expecting it because someone else's order got put in front of them. Can you see how this has a trickle down effect? In the warehouse, they're frustrated that they're loading a vehicle at 6 a.m. when they left the night before, it was ready to rock. The other thing that is happening is a frustrated driver. You potentially have a frustrated second customer that you were on your way to their stop, and now it is being delayed because somebody else's order got put in front of that. So in this conversation, we got to have a big group discussion about what is the best way to handle this. And I absolutely love how it worked out because shipping was saying, we want to do our jobs well, but what we've found is in the last couple months, because this continues to happen, we stop loading the trucks the night before to full capacity because we just assume other orders are going to be put in front of these orders. So we're kind of waiting until 6 a.m. to see what changes have been made. And yes, our drivers are frustrated when those changes are made and they are now waiting because people aren't arriving at 5:30 to load that truck in case there were changes. Everybody arrives at 6. Then they feel like they are not a priority and that the customer is placed above them as the employee. So now you feel second best. It feels like, why do I even work this hard if all the hard work I'm going to do is going to be reshuffled the next morning anyways? So you can see how the shift in the culture could turn negative because we're putting the customer first. Now, I wish this was a back and forth conversation with you because I would love to know what your solution is. The cool thing about having a company-wide presentation like this and a company-wide problem solve is we could hear from sales and their point of view. And so sales was able to say that, some of these are our best paying customers. And so when they call at 5:30 because they just got done at a job site and they realize they are missing on a few, pieces, products, then they want that order to come in tomorrow morning so that they can get their work done efficiently. And so us providing them that dynamite customer service keeps them coming back for more. And so we kind of at this moment had a standstill. You had sales saying, when we put the customer first, we in the end get more out of them. We make more sales and we gain financially. And then you had shipping saying, when you put the customer first, my guys slow down in their productivity, slow down in their efficiency. There have actually been more errors because we're trying to load that truck so quickly in the morning. And so it's really not working for us. So we were able to take a pause and everybody come up with a solution. And I absolutely love how this played out because a lot of people talked about, man, there really should be a system in place on when those orders can come in. To which shipping said, we created one last fall. Last fall, we decided the deadline should be 3 p.m., that anything ordered after 3 p.m. cannot be placed on the 6 a.m. truck. And everyone agreed. So I said, ooh, why are we not following through with that new policy? And sales said, because sometimes our best paying customers are calling at 4:15 or 5:30, and we want to make sure that they are taken care of. So we were able to have an incredible conversation, weighing the pros and the cons. And I was able to share with them that people actually love boundaries. Now, I don't know how you feel about boundaries, but when there is a firm boundary in place, people can consistently act based on that boundary. They might not like the boundary. They might not like how it impacts them, but they will take consistent action when a boundary is in place. And so if sales sticks to the boundary that you must call before 3 p.m. to get loaded on the 6 a.m. truck, and they stick to that boundary, what does that do for the customer placing the order? Number one, the first time it might be frustrating, right? They might be thinking they're going to get this product right away tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. and now they're finding out that they can't, right? However, now they know when I call before 3 p.m., the company is guaranteeing my order will be on the 6 a.m. truck, right? So now I am super confident on when I can call to make sure I get my order on the 6 a.m. truck. Here's the other really cool thing that the director of shipping said out loud that I absolutely loved that he brought this in. Because some people were getting kind of heated. They were saying like, well, we got to do what's best for the customer. And so what's a little stress in the shipping department? It's fine. You guys can handle it. You have been handling it, right? And the shipping manager said, just because we don't get it on the 6 a.m. truck doesn't mean it's not going to get to them by 10 a.m. The next round of trucks usually go out around 8 a.m. And typically we can get to the next order and have it delivered by 10 a.m. And I thought, man, if I'm a customer and I place an order at 5:30 p.m. and it arrives at my work site by 10 a.m., I'm still extremely pleased. And so it was great that the shipping director could kind of shed some light on, it's not that we're saying they can't get the order the next day. We're simply saying that we can be more efficient when we load our truck the night before for 6 a.m. and we take care of those customers who have placed their orders in time so that we can provide the best customer service and have an incredible, hardworking culture within the shipping department. And this is what I love about impact presentations, because sometimes we don't have everyone in the room, or we have one person from every department in the room, but that person isn't necessarily the problem-solving person, or it's not the person who can see multiple perspectives, right? So with everyone in the room and multiple perspectives, you even had customers in the room. You had people from sales, you had managers, you had the guys who were cutting and building all the product. They were all in the same room, and we were able to come to an incredible resolution, and everyone could agree on it. And that is what I love about these problem-solving sessions, is you are showing up and working through a problem on the spot, and you were able to walk away with a plan, and everyone felt really good about that plan. And when I turned to sales and I said, what do we think? Can we hold firm on the 3 p.m. deadline? And one of them said, yeah, I'd probably just need to send a couple emails today and let them know that that's our new policy. And somebody from shipping said, well, how come you didn't do that a couple months ago? And I was like, moving forward, not going backward, right? So moving forward, we're going to let all of our customers know 3 o'clock is the new deadline. And that is how it's going to work. And they are going to stay firm on that. And then we did the what and the why, which is when we have a firm deadline at 3 p.m., we can ensure that your product goes out on the 6 a.m. truck. And we want to serve you best by having that product delivered to you as soon as possible, right? And so now the customer is going to be happy because they know that deadline, and they're aware that when they meet that deadline, they get their product even sooner. And when they order it later in the day, they're still going to be able to get their product. It just might not be on that first truck. So this comes up as a question of, who should be the priority? The customer or the team? And I just have a couple questions for you to be thinking about as someone who has a business where you do have customers, but you also have a team of really hardworking employees. And like, how can you balance that? And so let's get into a few questions that you might want to be asking yourself to see where your priorities should lie. Question number 1. What is your end result? Maybe your company is very focused on the customers and what the customers need and want. Thinking along the lines of a service-based industry, right? And so therefore, your service is to provide excellent customer service. And so maybe in certain situations, the customer needs to come first. What the customers need, what the customers expect, and then you build a team that can deliver that customer experience. However, if you think of the end result and it needs to be a quality product, it needs to be a quality effort out of a bunch of people within your team, I really, really, really want you leaning into your employees coming first. Now, if you take a look at your team's needs, you might be able to equally give priority to your customer and your employees. So let's use that same first example. By setting boundaries, the customer still gets exactly what they want. And actually, maybe even more, because it's even more clear on how they can get their product on that first truck, right? And so having boundaries and being super clear with your customer allows the customer to get exactly what they want. And it allows shipping to get exactly what they want, which is efficiency and productivity for their team, right? That they can load that truck on time and be extremely confident that it is the right product going to the right customer at the earliest convenience for them, right? And so when you look at that situation and how it could play out in the best way, you are actually giving a great customer experience and a great employee experience at the same time. And so think about the question, what are my needs? What are your needs? What are your customers' needs? What does your team need? And take a look at that, and maybe you can find a way that they will equal out. I work very closely and coach a bunch of men in manufacturing. And these gentlemen are creating a product that is custom made for their customer. And 20 years ago, they were basically an assembly line, making the same product in the same way with the same dimensions, and things were flying off the shelves in that way. However, they started doing custom work and realized that they could charge a little more. They had all the equipment and all of the employees that were able to help make this custom product, so it felt like a great fit. However, your ability to pump out the same product over and over and over efficiently and with great quality cannot compare to the amount of time it takes to make a custom product with custom angles and customized items. And the end result is very, very different. So there needs to be quality check. There needs to be check and recheck that the job is being done and built in the very specific way that meets the orders. There's a lot at play and there's a lot at stake. And so when you go all in, that a customer gets a customized product in the end, you're really putting that customer as the priority. And so it feels as if the employees are kind of taking a back seat. However, with clear communication, with extremely clear boundaries like deadlines, being accurate, then both of you can have a really great experience. And so while working with this specific manufacturing company, they had to have some really big meetings with sales to say the deadlines are not the same as they used to be. When we were creating the exact same product over and over and over, we didn't need to use a lot of, it wasn't very mind heavy. You could do the same thing, rotely over and over and over. And now with the customized work, they've got to check the plans, then they build a part, then they ensure that the plan is correct, then they ensure that the part is correct, then they move it on to the next department. And so they were saying, the shop was saying, we've got to extend the deadlines. So it can't be done in a week or 2 weeks. Let's just use that as an example. We need a month. And at first, sales came back with customers are going to hate that. That customers do not want to wait that long for their product. However, as a customer myself, I am fully aware that if you are making something customized for me, of course it is going to take longer. You don't have that inventory just sitting on your shelves that you have to throw in a box and deliver it to me. No, you have to customize it with my name or my information or the dimensions that I want and have to build that from scratch. And so with a little more clear communication, we can now make that switch. Customers are still happy that they are going to be able to get their product within a month time. And now the shop is happy that they have the time to create that quality product. And so really be thinking about how can you make this balance. At the beginning of this episode, I said that your response or my response was maybe going to shock you. And I'll tell you that if it were me, I would put the employee and the culture first in every situation. Because if the employees are not enjoying their work and feel like they are second best to the customer, they're not showing up with the energy to create great service, to deliver great service, or to deliver a great product. They're not showing up with energy and excitement to give the best customer service to the customer because they feel second best. And when people feel that they are not a priority, that's when you start to see them showing you signs that they do not feel valued. And when people don't feel valued, trust goes way down within the company, and then we have all sorts of issues. This is why, first and foremost, I would look at the needs of the customer, the needs of the employee, and then I would lean more into making the employee experience great, and then use that energy and use that quality that you're going to be able to create with great employees to then showcase that to the customer, right? When people enjoy their jobs, they're going to interact with customers in a very different way. They're going to be willing to work hard if for some reason a part didn't come in on time and they're almost going to not reach that deadline. They're going to be willing to go the extra mile to reach that deadline than if they felt like the deadline was an inaccurate deadline, that they were already going to fail in the first place, right? And so therefore their trust is low. Their actions are going to match that low trust. So where do you start? Once you identify, okay, Ann, I want to go all in with my employees. How do I do that? I would start by looking at your culture. I would be interviewing your employees. I would ask them things like, what would make your job easier? What would make your position even more effective, right? And just ask these questions and then sit down and problem solve with them on how they can do that. Just yesterday, I was on a coaching call and this gentleman was saying, man, last fall, I was able to get information from this one person in sales and it really helped my team be super productive. And I said, well, what happened? And he said, well, that guy stopped communicating with us. And so now we have to be reactive instead of being proactive. And I said, well, why did he stop communicating? And my client said, I don't know. He just kind of stopped. And I was like, okay, well, when you asked him to do it again, what did he say? And he's like, well, I just didn't really bring it up. I just figured it stopped for a reason and that he didn't like doing it anymore. And so I just stopped expecting it. And I was like, okay, first action. So at the end of all of my coaching calls, we come up with an action list. Like, what are the things based on this call? What are some actions you can go take? And his first action was like, I'm going to send an email to purchasing to ask if there's a way we can get back to those emails. And in this coaching call too, we were able to identify what kind of language to use when putting forth that inquiry. So it doesn't come off like, how come you've been lazy for the last 5 months and haven't been emailing me? Or why'd you stop doing that? Instead, we're going to approach it as, last fall, when you were emailing me the orders that were going to come in on receiving, I was able to set my team up for success. We were more efficient and more productive, and I'm wondering if we can go back to doing that. That is how we set the person in purchasing up for success. We say there is a way that what you were doing before was positively benefiting my team and the company, and we'd love to do that again. So now this person in purchasing is hearing this information saying, man, I was making a difference and I can continue to make a difference in that way. And so this is where clear communication and focusing on the culture and focusing on getting over some of those hurdles that people within your company might be having is so important. It can truly shift the culture when little things that are stressing out your team members are eliminated or mitigated. Just imagine the energy they can show up with now and the confidence that they can show up in doing their job. So if you are looking for a way to help your team just continue to grow and become more efficient, more clear communicators, doing some culture coaching might be exactly what you are looking for. You can reach out to me via email. It's impact@anvote.com. You can also go to my website, anvote.com, and you can put in your information under contact me, where you can tell me a little bit about your company and kind of what you're looking for. And I can let you know if that's something that I am going to be able to deliver for you. Not only are there impact presentations where I come in and work with your staff for 2 to 3 hours, but there's also individual coaching for your leaders so that you can take the information that you learn in an impact presentation and put it into action. What I love about the coaching calls is it helps hold my clients accountable week after week. And so we don't let new information or new application of a strategy slide away, because we are consistently reminded of what it can do to benefit us, what it can do to benefit our team, and what it can do to benefit our customers. And we know that when we bring energy and we clearly communicate with people, it creates movement. Movement creates momentum. Momentum creates growth. And that is what we are all about over here. So if that is something you or your company is interested in, go ahead and connect with me. I would love to talk with you on how we can get your team just continuing to move forward and not get stuck. If you are local to New Ulm, we have the Lead with Impact series coming up in April and May of 2024. And so if this was something that fired you up, this conversation about who should I be prioritizing and how should I be setting boundaries so that my customers have a great experience, but my employees really enjoy the work that they are doing or feel pride in the work they are doing, you are going to want to join this 4-part series. Now, you can attend all 4, in which you get a discount, you get a binder with all the materials in it, or you can pick and choose which events you can go to. So maybe your schedule is full and you can only make it to 2. There is a way for you to sign up for just 2 of those, or you can sign up for all 4, grab that discount, stay in the material, stay accountable to yourself. The Lead with Impact series is once every 2 weeks for 8 weeks time. So you're going to want to go check that out. Head on over to the Impact to Influence Facebook page for the events on there and information within the posts. Those event dates are April 4th, 2024, April 18th, 2024, May 2nd, 2024, and May 16th. So if you are hearing this later in the month of April, you can still get in to those last series events. I will also let you know, again, if you are local within the New Ulm area, that this is a great way for you to network. The first 30 minutes of the event, they start at 8 a.m. The first 30 minutes allow you to grab breakfast and network with other leaders. And then from 8:30 to 10:30, you are in immersive learning workshop, which means you are given a little bit of information and you apply it to your own specific situation. And so check those out. Like I said, you can check out the Impact to Influence Facebook page, and there will be a link for you to grab your tickets through the New Ulm Chamber of Commerce. So I hope you grab your spot. We will only have 50 available. We've got a little over a week to go. So grab your seats before we get down to the wire. Thank you so much for taking this podcast episode in. I absolutely appreciate that you are here. If you have not subscribed yet to the What If It Works podcast, go ahead and do that. Each episode gives you a strategy or a skill to grow within your own leadership skills and communication skills. And all of us, no matter what our positions are leading other people each and every day. We are having a positive or negative impact on those around us, and we have the opportunity to influence people on a daily basis, whether that be influencing them to believe in themselves, influencing them that they can reach their full potential, or simply influencing them that they have value. That is exactly what I want leaders to be getting out of these episodes, so that you can lead your people while they are with you and beyond. Thank you so much for being here. Please send me a message if there is any topic that you want to hear more about. Again, my email address is impact@annvote.com. That's ANNVOTE.com. And go out there and create change.